This is just very, I don't know. I don't get why this is a hit song. Hello everyone, Samuel Andreyev here. I'm a composer, and today I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done in probably at least 25 years, maybe 30 years, which is actually sit down and intentionally listen to the top 3 songs on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart. I have no idea who the artists are going to be on the chart. I'm going to find this out in real time as you're watching. And I have no idea what I'm going to hear. I'm expecting that it'll be different from what it would have sounded like 30 years ago when I was a teenager. But let's find out. Okay, so this is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. And the number 1 song currently is I Had Some Help by Post Malone featuring Morgan Wallen. Okay, well, I have no idea at all who this is. I haven't heard this song before, and it looks like it's doing really well. Anyway, so let's listen. I'm going to go onto YouTube, and we'll start with song number 1.
I see a guy talking about it. No, that's a coworker.
He's got a baseball cap. So this has got a kind of rural or small town kind of vibe to it. And here's the music. You know what's really weird? It sounds kind of similar. This is not an insult, but it sounds kind of similar to like the Bare Naked Ladies when they did their second album, Maybe You Should Drive. It's very, very similar kind of production, vocal style. Maybe the difference between now and 30 years ago is that this track is just so clean. The vocals are exactly in tune all the time. The percussion is like a machine. It could actually be a drum machine. I can't tell. I can't tell if it's a human playing or if it's an actual drummer. I think it's probably a drummer. But the fact that it's hard to tell is kind of an indication that this has just been processed to death. So that's not a value judgment, by the way. I think it's an aesthetic choice, I guess. A lot of producers are working that way. I don't happen to like it very much myself because I think that it really sucks the life out of the music. The only conspicuously human element in this track so far is the voice. Everything else sounds totally anonymous and totally bland, and it could be anyone. Yeah. Okay. I mean, not particularly interesting. I don't know what to say. I don't know why this is the number 1 song. I know what you're thinking. These videos are incredible, and if only there were a simple, free, and easy way for me to make sure that more of them get produced. Well, you're in luck. All you have to do is hit subscribe and the notification bell to make sure that you will be the first to know when a new video is uploaded. And in so doing, you will help ensure that I can keep on producing more of these videos. So what are you waiting for? I'll just sit right here and wait while you do the right thing. Well, let's listen to number 2. Maybe this will be a little bit different. So Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has 78 million. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so here's Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
See dead people.
All right, so within seconds, this is way more interesting. And it sounds totally different from the number 1 song. That's interesting. I like this song a lot more. This is way more interesting. Yeah, see, this, despite the fact that the backing track is entirely artificial and synthesizers and sampling and everything, this has way more life to it, is particularly in the vocal performance. It's more distinctive. It's more, and it's just really surprising also how utterly dissimilar songs number 1 and 2 are from each other. I mean, it's not totally dissimilar to things that were happening in the 90s in rap and hip hop, but it's more distinctive and it has more personality than the previous piece, I think. And it's more creative. So, and not everything needs to be like 100% new and innovative all the time. I don't think those are particularly important things. I think it's important for music to renew itself and to transform itself over time so that, you know, we don't become completely awash in cliches that have just become dead, like dead corpses sort of just kind of floating around like half-empty balloons in our culture. This is an epic in comparison to the last one. What's interesting also is this song has almost no contrast in it. It's pretty consistent from one end to the next. Yeah, very little in the way of contrast. Very sort of static in a way. There's not, you know, the harmony is very simple. It's just basically a drone, but it's really well produced. Okay, so here's Tommy Richmond, $1 Million Baby. Now, I'm just scrolling around here. There's actually a bunch of versions of this video. I don't know which one is the one to watch. There's one that says official visualizer, and there's one that's the official lyric video, and another official visual. Okay, I don't know. They're all on what looks like to be his official YouTube channel, so I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going to click on this one, which has 18 million views. And yeah, so actually this is kind of interesting. The previous song had 78 million views. This one has 28 million, or is it 18? 18 million plus 25 million for the other version. Those seem like gigantic numbers, and they are big numbers. But what's kind of funny is, like in terms of the scale of the population that listens to music, it's not that huge actually. Like for something that's right at the top of the charts. There are songs, like videos from the past. I remember getting hundreds of millions or billions of views, like Gangnam Style, which was obviously an international thing. Or does anyone remember the song Friday by Rebecca Black? Yeah, like people watched it because they thought it was so funny and ridiculous, but nevertheless, it got hundreds of millions of views. So I don't know, is that a sign of a decline in the industry, that like these videos are getting only, whatever, between 40 and 70 million views? I don't know, maybe not. So let's listen to this $1 Million Baby. So the first thing I notice here, like I pay attention to everything, like the whole package, the videos, the production, the musical content of the song. This is shot on like a fisheye lens, but it looks like it's surveillance camera footage. It's super low resolution. It's really grainy, low quality aesthetic. And that's interesting in and of itself. I think a lot of this, and coming back to what we saw with the first song, is a kind of reaction to this overly precise, overly clean Instagram, like cell phone photo aesthetic, where everything's just kind of flat and clean and sharp. And people just want something with a little bit more character. So I guess that's what's happening here. Like this lettering on the screen is very like 1980s, 1990s VCR videotape kind of aesthetic. So very retro, like all of, yeah. Like the number 1 and number 3 songs here, and the second one to an extent too, are very backwards looking aesthetically. Like they would not have been surprising 30 years ago. It seems very forgettable. Like there's just nothing in this song that would particularly like strike me as being interesting or something I would necessarily want to hear again. So this is just very, I don't know. I don't get why this is a hit song. But it's not for me, so not for me to say. I'm not saying it's bad, by the way, necessarily, because again, you have to remember I'm not the target audience. But let me know in the comments what you think about these top 3 songs, because the main takeaway for me from this experience, is just like surprise at how you would think that if you kind of went to sleep for 30 years and then listened to new things again, that there would be, something would have changed in the interim, especially given the rapid technological change of the last 30 years. You'd think that would be reflected somehow in the totally different society that we're in. And I'm just not seeing it. The music sounds kind of the same. Like it's the same thing in the composition world. I went to a concert a few days ago of like new music, like new orchestral compositions, and it was okay. Like the orchestra played really, really well. It's a fantastic orchestra, but the pieces, had they been written 40 years ago, I wouldn't have been surprised. I'd be like, okay. And I'm not for a second saying that like innovation per se or novelty are cardinal values. I don't think they're that important. I really don't. But I do think that cultures need to revitalize themselves and renew and transform in order to like, not become awash in cliches, right? Because things just kind of become hollowed out, desiccated skeletons just blowing around like half inflated balloons on empty streets. Do you know what I mean? It's like, unless you transform them. And I'm not seeing a lot of that here. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do that, because, if you found this at all edifying or interesting, I don't know if it was interesting, but, that way at least you'll, if you hit the notification bell, you'll be sure to find out when I post a new video. I'm putting them up every Thursday at 1:00 p.m. EST every week. So make sure you subscribe and don't miss another video, and we'll see you next time.